But in the heart, there's two emotions to cultivate in moderate living. And I would say this: cheerfulness. So we want to be cheerful, because cheerful is optimistic. We want to be just continually on the upside, continually creating. And I don't mean ecstatic. I'm not overly excited, because you burn out. But you want to be basically positive, that you keep on going. And then the other one you need is serenity. The other one I call is serenity. So serenity is just a feeling of calmness and a feeling of you're just slightly aware and observing things and maintaining a calmness and an inner peace no matter what. If these two emotions, we just think about them and try and cultivate them in life, you'll get through most things in life. Whatever happens to you, whatever hits the fan, if you can come back to these two, you'll find a way through it. And this gives you the idea, the basis of this whole training. Living moderately means living efficiently, same with the body. I've got to hold an efficient position. It's a moderate mid position. That's the most efficient. And I can hold these efficient, moderate emotions, cheerfulness and serenity. This will keep me going. Now, cheerfulness is very interesting. This is even in the survival. In the survival world, people, survivalists, they practice lost in the wilderness, and your group of people, you've got to survive. You've got to be cheerful. When you're in that life-death scenario, the one person in the group that gets depressed, the one depressive in the group can wipe you out, because they bring everyone down, and that's the end. You finish. You've got to stay cheerful. When you're stuck in that absolute dire circumstance of surviving for your life, you've got to stay upbeat. You have to. That is the difference between life and death. Cheerfulness. And serenity is the same thing. Serenity in that moment is there is a way through it. I can't see it, but I know there is a way through it. Serenity will let you touch the infinite, find a way through, find a spontaneous solution. And serenity requires coherence. You bring your coherence together. See, there's a process to energy, and there's a level to energy. Energy is creating matter, and matter is being destroyed back to energy. There's a transmutation, and I'm going to talk more about transmuting matter in physics, because again, this can be done in physics, but we're doing this in biology. This is a biological transmutation of matter. Again, nobody's talking about this, but that's what it is. And this is the ultimate Kundalini, and this is the ultimate Qigong, the Tantra, ultimate Buddhist achievement of Nirvana. But for me, I would sum this up as this is a method to build soul power. This is a method of improving your longevity, improving your ability to rejuvenate. I suppose what I should say is this is not a lifestyle. I'm not trying to tell you a way of living. It's not a lifestyle. You can live however you like, do whatever you want in life. But if you understand this, you can have a better chance of doing that for longer. And also, if you understand, I'm not teaching you ethics. Remember, there's no ethics here. There's only mathematics. The ethics is wisdom. I'm just suggesting you try to work towards wisdom. And if you work towards wisdom, you will be more ethical. You see, there is a thing in the Tao. The Tao, talk about this. There's the Tao of virtue. Virtue. So they don't talk about karma. In the Buddhism and the Indian philosophy, they talk about karma. And karma is, again, not quite right. It's the same as religion. They've got the idea of heaven and earth, and they've created a sort of arbitrary moral structure, a set of rules. If you do this, if you wear this clothes, if you eat that food, if you go to this group every week, if you don't do this, don't do that, then you'll go to heaven and earth. Or if you do it, you go to hell. This is an arbitrary set of rules. And mathematics is not an arbitrary set of rules. The only rules you have to follow is the mathematics of fire. Remember, the universe sees no good and evil, sees no pleasure and pain. If it follows the mathematics, then this mathematics is creation and destruction. Its religion has created this set of rules, and it's a group of people, I follow that rules, then I'll go to heaven or go to hell. It's the same in karma. There's the same sort of rules that have been set up. If I do this good action, then this good action will happen to me. If I do this bad action, then this bad action will happen to me. You sort of locked yourself in a destiny. There cannot be karma because there is free will. You've got to go back to my previous lecture. If there is karma, it implies an overall destiny, and that implies an overall ethics. Someone up there is keeping a record. Oh, you did that, so therefore in your next life that will happen to you. There's too many assumptions. You're assuming that you will have a next life and you will be the same person and then someone else will do it to you. You can't assume that. Second assumption is made in karma is you are assuming that we are separate beings. Of course we are separate singularities of spirit, but we are all spirit. We are all one spirit. So we're all one spirit interacting with itself. So there's no karma because it's one being interacting with itself. They're not separate beings. This is just an incidental experience one being is having of itself. So you can't have karma. And the Tao don't talk about karma. They don't talk about that. They don't need it. They don't talk about heaven and earth and karma. They don't need that. They're only talking about science. This is metaphysics, esoteric science. But they talk about the Tao of virtue. It makes sense. It is wise to be a good person, because in general, being a nice, virtuous person will get you more energy. People are more likely to respond well to you. You are more likely to get what you want by being polite than by being aggressive. But they don't deny you have to have self-defense. The Tao of virtue is still wisdom. It doesn't mean I'm always giving to everyone. No, you'd use virtue with wisdom. Sometimes there is tough love. Sometimes a wicked person must be punished, because that is teaching them a lesson. That's still tough love, that's still virtue. There is righteous anger, there is aggression, just for no reason, and there is righteous anger to fight against oppression, so we need that. Righteous anger is a virtue, but there is no karma. You see, and again, if you argue about karma, then again it makes no sense. If there's karma, there's so many little babies born with terrible diseases, and they're innocent, pure innocent babies. And pure innocent children have terrible things happening to them. They're innocent. If they're not a so-called bad person in their last life, reincarnated, and now they're going to get terrible things happening to them. Because if they were a bad person, you would see elements of their bad person. They're not. They're pure innocents, and they're being abused. And that person, that abuser, doesn't get any comeuppance. The powerful people that are running the world and doing very evil things, they should have had their comeuppance by now if there was karma, but they haven't. They go back generations of the same family. Same families have been running the world through generations. You can map it, it's been mapped. So if there was a karma, those guys by now should have had their comeuppance, but they don't. Because there is no karma. There is no, the universe is not fair like that. There is no, you mustn't be seeking justice. You can't seek justice. There is only balance. There is only creation and destruction. Justice is arbitrary. The sooner you get your head around that, the better. And the most important thing to realize is there is free will. It doesn't matter what has happened in the universe. You, at this moment, right now, have got free will. Spirit can manifest a brand new life for you. You can do this for yourself. You are not bound by the destiny of your karma. No, you are not. You see, that is another story you've been told. Religion and karma is the same programming. It's a programming that traps you in a destiny. You've got to look at my last lecture. Now you're going down that road of destiny. Let me set you free from that now. You are not bound by your karma. You can change it. Now that doesn't mean you do a bad thing. You know, this happens, and if you shout at someone, they might give you a slap. You got to respond for that. But that you can't call that karma. That's just an obvious common sense response. You will have that sort of thing. And if you want to fix the bad things you have done, you should go and apologize sincerely, and that will help you clear the air. That is the Tao of virtue. The Tao of virtue is, if you've done wrong, go and apologize. You should teach your children that. Be good, but if you've done wrong and someone tells you, apologize. But you must have shame. If you don't have shame, you won't improve yourself. So the Tao of virtue is the pursuit of wisdom. It is the pursuit of wisdom. Remember, that is what this is all about. And the pursuit of wisdom, and the Tao is through the Tao of virtue, which is the moderation of what's going on, your desires, the things in your body. You moderate them, not just for the sake of it, but to increase them. You increase them and you harness them, but you turn them inwards to your soul power. And the most practical thing I can tell you about living life is try to think about those emotions. And you might not think you've got them, but we've all got them. You can all access this. You just have to try and imagine. If you don't think you're cheerful, try and imagine what you think cheerfulness would be. And act it. You act it. Just pretend. When you act it, you'll get it. Serenity, the same thing. You might not know, but you just think, well, what would that be? You act it. Act serene, and it will come. And it just a background thing. This is training yourself to be aware, training yourself to be observant, training yourself to control your own aura, and notice when people are trying to take your energy or control your energy. And it is training your coherence, building your magnetic field, building your aura, and harnessing this process of fluid flowing through your body.